Hello, I'm Cristiano of the Marinelli Brothers podcast. This is episode 8 of Money Talk, and we're going to be talking about how bond prices work. Here it is, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so first you might ask, what exactly is a bond?
It's me, Bond. James Bond.
No, not that. It's a different type of bond. Well, a bond is basically like a loan. Somewhat like a mortgage that the bank gives you, and you have to pay interest. The thing is, with a bond, you're loaning a company or a country and even sometimes a city money. Therefore, you get paid back a certain amount of money, a certain percentage, whatever you buy the bond at what percentage. Right now, bonds are floating around the 1.5% yield. They pay 1.5% yearly, and it can be distributed monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. It depends on who you're buying the bond from. So you've heard now how bonds pay interest. Well, the thing is, there is a catch. You can lose money in bonds because the first way is with corporate bonds, they can default, meaning that the company goes bankrupt and can no longer pay interest. The second way is when the interest rates go up. Let's say you bought the bond at a 2% rate and the rate's up at 5%. When it comes to maturity, which is when you can sell your bond without a certain large penalty, nobody's really going to want to buy it because they can get 5% instead of your 2%. So in order to even it out, you're going to have to sell it at a coupon rate of minus 3%. So that's how you can lose money on bond. However, if interest rates go down from that 2% to, let's say, a 0.5%, you make 1.5%, you're 1.5% higher than the average interest rate. So in that case, people are going to want to pay that extra amount of money to get that 2% yield. So in that case scenario, you can make the interest payments on your bond plus the extra 1.5% that the people are willing to pay you for the bond. There's 3 alternative types of bonds. Number 1 is GICs, which we will talk a little bit more about later. There's also bond ETFs, which are ETFs filled with 100% bonds. And there's also treasury bonds. These treasury bonds pay interest at the rate of inflation. Governments offer this. So that brings up the question, should I be buying bonds? Well, right now in this current market, where bond yields for the average US bond are 1.5% and roughly the same in Canada, a little bit lower. I wouldn't put all my money into bond, not including treasury bonds, which should take up about 5% of your portfolio. However, if you have a small amount of money, around 5 to 10% of your portfolio put into bonds, it's not a bad idea. However, I would wait until the interest rates rise a little bit. That way you can get a better return on your investment, ROI. When yields rise, then I would be putting your portfolio more to 25% bonds. It also depends on your age. If you are older, then buying bonds and GICs are a little bit lower yield than a bond, but the bank pays you back a certain amount of fixed interest, and it's usually compound interest unless it's a 12-month cashable GIC. They pay you that compound interest, and you're guaranteed that money. Alright, that concludes our episode of the Marinelli Brothers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, hit that notification bell, and leave a positive comment on our videos. Goodbye.